Hello my dear students, welcome back to Learn Physics. Last class we were discussing about this portion measurement and errors for the JEE NEET examination. Okay, for your entrance exam purpose, and in that video along with the video I had given some exercise questions which is given in the DC Pandey's books. So we will discuss that first. Okay, the number of significant figures in 3400 is. So here it is asked how many number of significant figures are there in 3400. So as we said, this trailing zeros in a whole number part, it won't be considered as significant figures. So it is 2 significant figures. So the option D is the correct answer. Second one, the significant figures in the number 6.0023 are significant figures. So in between, if the zeros are coming, those zeros are considered as significant. Therefore 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 significant figures. So which option will be? It is option B. Then next, the respective number of significant figures for the numbers 23.023, 23.023, 0.0003, 2.1 into 10 to the power minus 3 are. So the respective number of significant figures, we should find out the significant figures in all these things. So here in between 0 is coming, that one we will consider as significant. Therefore it is 5 significant figures over here. Here it is these numbers, we won't consider it as significant. Therefore it is 1 significant figure. Here 10 to the power, we won't consider it as significant. So here it has 2 significant figures. So the order is 5, 1, 2. It's option A. So the option A is the correct answer. Then, which of the following measurement is most accurate? Here it is given 40 meter, 0.04 meter, 4.00 into 10 to the power minus 4, 4 into 10 to the power 2. So how we will be finding out the most accurate one, which is having the maximum number of significant figures after the decimal point. If after the decimal point, how many digits are, this more number of digits where it is coming, that will be the most significant digit. So in the options, it is given like 40 meter, 4.00 into 10 to the power minus 4, 0.04, 4 into 10 to the power 2. Okay, so here 0.04 means after the decimal point we are getting 2 digits. Here 4.00 into 10 to the power minus 4 also, it is after the decimal point, it's 2 digits only are there, right? So which is the most significant figure? So we can take the which is the most accurate one. We can consider the significant figures. So here 4.00 into 10 to the power minus 4 will be the answer. Okay, so here you will get a doubt for 0.004 also. Here also after the decimal point 2, and this also after the decimal point 2 only. So here when we are finding out the answer, here it has the significant figures is 3 significant figure. Here only 1 significant figure is there. So we can consider this as the correct answer. So option C is the correct one. Option C. That is for the 4th question. Then 5th one, find the value of 525.5 plus 10.81 minus 53.15. So while we are adding all these things, we will be getting the answer like 483.16. Okay, here how will we find out the final answer, including the rounding off? See here in the question, after the decimal, if we are doing addition or subtraction, after the decimal point, minimum number of decimal places, in which how many is the minimum number, that should be considered. Here in our question, it's 525.5. So after the decimal 1 digit and 10.81 after the decimal 2 digits, 53.15. In that also after the decimal 2 digits. So minimum number is 1 digit. So here also we should maintain after the decimal point 1 digit should be maintained. So since the second digit is more than 5, we can add 1 to the previous number. So the answer will be 483.2. So here answer is C. Option C is the correct answer. Right? Then now moving to the sixth one. 3.008 into 38.8 divided by 2.8768. Okay, while we are doing the calculation, we will get the answer like 40.5695. Okay, this is the answer. Here, when we are doing multiplication or division, how will we retain the final number or final answer? How we will be presenting? See, it will be which is having least number of significant figures. Those significant figures should be included in this final answer. So here the 3.008. So it has 4 significant figures. 38.8. 3 significant figures, 2.8768. It has 5 significant figures. So the least number of significant figures are 3. So here this includes 3 significant figures. That means this is the third significant figure. We should consider the fourth one. Since it is greater than 5, we can add 1 to this. So the answer is 40.6. You will be getting the answer like D. D is the correct answer. Now moving to the 7th question. The length and breadth of a metal sheet are 3.124 meter and 3.2 meter respectively. The area of the sheet up to correct significant figures. So length is given, breadth is given. Length into breadth will give you the area. So you can first find out the length into breadth. So your answer will be 9.378. 2. Like that you will get. Here how we just multiplication, length into breadth. So we should find out the minimum number of significant figures. 3.124 is it has 4 significant figures. 3.002 also has 4 significant figures. So it should include minimum 4. Minimum 4 means till here. The fifth number is less than 5. So it can be just drop. So the answer is 9.378 meter square. So the answer is A. A is the correct option. Then moving to the 8th question. The length, breadth and thickness of a block are given by L equals 12, B equals 6 and T equals 2.45 centimeters. Volume of the block. Volume, how will we find out? Length into breadth into height. Right? So multiplication means minimum number of significant figures should be retained. Here in 12, 6, 2.45. Minimum number is 1 significant figure. When we are multiplying, we will get the answer like 176.4. Okay, this one it's very difficult to say. We can't maintain the how will we maintaining the minimum number of significant figures over here. So instead of this one, we can write it as 1.764 into 10 to the power 2. Can we write it like this? Yes. So here 1.76 we can write it as 2 into 10 to the power 2 meter cube. This will be the final answer. So this is 8th question. So 2 into 10 to the power 2 meter cube. This is how we will be. So in the final answer, only 1 digit should be maintained. Next is mass of a ball is 1.76 kilogram. Mass of 25 such balls. So 1.76 into 25. When you are doing that, you will get it as the answer as 44. So 1.76 into 25. In that we will get the answer as 44 we will be getting. So here it is 25 as the number of balls. Right? So its significant figures can be of infinite number we can consider. Since it's a number, it's not a measured value. It's a number. So infinite number of significant figures we can consider for that. Therefore 1.76 into 25, in that we should consider this 1.76. That is the important thing. So it is here you should consider if we are considering a number. It's not a measurement. Okay, length, breadth and all, when we are finding out, it is a measurement. Here it is not a measurement, it's a number. Number is having infinite number of significant figures. So here we will consider 3 significant figures. So 44, how can we write down it as 3 significant figures? We can write it as 44.0. 44.0 will be the representation for the final answer. So here we will be getting the answer like, so it is B. B is the correct answer. Then 10th one, a body of mass 3.513 kilogram is moving along x-axis with a speed of 5.00 meter per second. Find the momentum. Momentum, now you know to find out the momentum, P equals mass into velocity. Mass is given like 3.513. Here and all, no, just significant figures you are finding out. Okay, so 3.513 means it has 4 significant figures. 5.00 has 3 significant figures. Since it's a multiplication, we should consider 3 significant figures. While you are multiplying, you will get it as 17.565. 17.565, like that you will be getting 3 significant figures, means you should consider up to here. So since the next number is greater than 5, we can add 1 to this number. The final answer will be 17.6 kilogram meter per second. So the answer is A. 10th one, A. Okay, here in this assertion recent type question also there, that one I'll include along with the today's exercise. Okay, now we are moving to the errors part. So measurement is done. This is how we will be finding out the significant figures and rounding off. Thorough for you, I guess. Maximum number of questions. Please try to do maximum number of questions. Okay, and now we are moving to the next part, which is errors. So here when we are considering errors we already learned in the theory there are 2 types, systematic errors are there, random errors are there. Here when we are considering random errors, here in random error means when we are doing the measurements. Okay, randomly, first time maybe we will be getting it as 17.2, next we are getting it as 17.1, and next again we are getting it as 17.2, again we are getting it as 17.3. No systematic order is not there. That is not due to the experimental error, that not due to the experimental technique, nothing, or due to the external environments, nothing like that. That is random errors are occurring. In those cases, how can we find out the percentage of error or how much is the error in our calculation? That one we can find out. Okay, for that, so here when we are doing that, we can first find out the mean value of the given data, or which and all measurement we had taken. We will be finding out the mean value of all the measurements, that is A1 plus A2 plus etc plus AN divided by N. Okay, so if the true value is not given, you can consider this mean value as the true value. Okay, mean value of all the measured values. Okay, then we should find out the absolute error. Absolute error means we will take the difference between the mean value and the each measurement. Okay, so this mean value I am representing it as A mean. Okay, A mean minus A1. It's not compulsory we should always subtract from A mean only. It's not like that. We can just take the difference. Okay, A mean minus A1, A mean minus A2, etc. up to A mean minus AN we can find out. Okay, that difference you can find. Difference between mean value of all the errors and each value when you are considering, that is called absolute error. Okay, next another thing is there, that is mean absolute error. So we will find out the mean value of all the absolute errors. Okay, this is delta A1 I am considering this as delta AN. So delta A1 plus delta A2 plus etc plus delta AN divided by N. This is called a mean absolute error. Okay, so this is mean absolute error. Then next we are going to find out what is a relative error. Relative error is the ratio, it's a ratio, it's a relative to 1, right? So it is the ratio of delta A mean divided by A mean. Delta A mean means the difference which we are finding out, that value, the average of or mean value of those differences, that is delta A mean. Okay, mean of absolute errors divided by mean value of the measured values, that is relative error. Next is percentage error. If we are calculating the relative error in percentage into 100 will give you percentage error. Okay, clear children about the mean value, absolute error, mean absolute error, relative error and percentage error. So here mean value of all the data which we found out, and absolute error is difference between the mean value and each measured values. Next is mean absolute error. Take the mean of all the absolute errors. Then relative error is the ratio delta A mean divided by A mean, that is relative error. Now these are the different errors we calculated. If we are finding out the multiplication or addition, how will we find out what will happen to the error? Okay, suppose if I am considering V equals IR. Okay, I value is here with me and R value is also with me. So when we are calculating R value, some errors can occur. And when we are calculating V values, then errors will be there. So when we are multiplying these two, again error will be. So how that error will be reflecting in that multiplication? Or I am calculating the length of some values. And another measurement, I am finding out the length of one book. And I am finding out the length of another book. What is the difference in length between these two books? So if I am finding out, so when I am measuring the length of one book, I will be getting some errors. Errors can occur over there, right? And next measurement also I am taking the length. So there also errors will be coming. When I am adding these two or I am subtracting these two, how the error will be reflecting in the added value or the subtracted value? In the added value, or in the subtracted value, errors which occurred in the original one will be added up. If it is addition or subtraction, errors will be added up. That means, see, suppose I got a value like L is equal to 1.415 centimeter and 415 plus or minus 0.001. This will be the error over there, and then B value when we are finding out. So another, this is L1, next L2 I am getting it as 2.323 plus or minus 0.001. So these are the errors. If I am finding out the sum of L1 and L2 or difference of L1 and L2, the errors will always be added up, plus or minus 0.002. This will be the error. If it is addition or subtraction, errors will always added up. But these values, if it is addition, means we should add these two and write down over here, and if we should subtract these two and write down over here. But the errors will always be added up, either if it is subtraction or division. But in the same way, when we are multiplying two numbers, length into breadth, when I am 1.2 plus or minus 0.1 and here B equals 2.3 plus or minus 0.1. So in these cases, we should take the relative errors. Relative errors should added up. Relative error means delta L by L. This is the relative error for the length, right? Delta L, difference in length, or what is that? 0.1 divided by original one is 1.2. And relative error of B means 0.1 divided by 2.3. Those errors should added up. If it is the multiplication or division, relative errors should added up. Okay, clear? So now we will do some numericals, relative solved examples we will do, and then as in the previous video, I'll be giving you the rest of the exercise questions. You can try to solve that. Okay. Here volume of two bodies are measured to be V1 equals 10.2 plus or minus 0.02 centimeter cube and V2 is given like 6.4 plus or minus 0.01 centimeter cube. Okay, these are V1 and V2. We should find out the sum and difference of volume with error limits. So sum means V1 plus V2. For that, first this will be considered as true value and this is the error. Okay, this is or measured value we can consider. This is the measured value and this is the error. Okay, so V1 plus V2 when you are considering, you can add these measured value part, that is 16.6 plus or minus. Errors should always added up. Therefore, 0.02 plus 0.01 you will get it as 0.03 meter cube. Okay, this will be the final answer. If we are taking the subtraction, V1 minus, we are taking the difference. So here you will get it as 3.8 plus or minus 0.03 only you should write down. Don't subtract the errors. Errors should always added up. So the final answer is 16.6 plus or minus 0.3 and V1 minus V2 is 3.8 plus or minus 0.03. Okay. Then in the case of division and multiplication, how we will be doing. Okay, next one. Next, moving to that one, finding out the errors. Mass and density of a solid sphere are measured to be 12.4. This is mass is given like 12.4 plus or minus 0.1 kilogram, and here next is density. Density is given 4.6 plus or minus 0.2 kilogram per meter cube. Calculate the volume of the sphere. How we can find out the volume? Density equals mass by volume, right? Density equals mass by volume. Therefore, volume will be equal to mass by density. So how we can find out? First we can find out the value, right? Measured value 12.4 divided by 4.6, V 12.4 divided by 4.6, you will get it as 2.3, 6.2. So here it is 2.69, like that you will be getting meter cube. Okay, so here also first we should do the significant figures. Here in 2 significant figures is the minimum, so you can consider it as 2.7 meter cube. Now how can we find out the errors now? Delta V divided delta M divided by M plus delta rho by rho. Therefore, delta M by M will be equal to 0.1 divided by 12.4, and here delta rho by rho will be equal to 0.2 divided by 4.6. Okay, then these errors should added up to get the total error in V, that is delta V equals 0.1 divided by 12.4 plus or minus 0.2 divided by 4.6. So errors should added up. So here it is positive 4.6. This is delta V by V. So the relative error of the multiplication, while we are doing the multiplication, errors, how we can find out? The relative errors of these values will be relative error of M plus relative error of rho will be equal to relative error of the volume. Then how can we find out the error now? Delta V will be equal to 0.1 divided by 12.4 plus 0.2 divided by 4.6 into V. V value is 2.7. When you are calculating this, you will find out the delta V value. Okay, so these steps you should follow to find out the delta V. Okay, clear children? So this is some of the numerical which is given over here. Calculate, then another question is given for calculate the percentage error in determination of time period of a simple pendulum T equals 2 pi into root of L by G. Okay, here when we are substituting this, we know it is for 2 pi, we don't have any errors. So we should consider only for this one. Root of L by G, how we will be finding out that one? percentage error delta t by t into 100. This is the percentage error of t, that will be equal to root of L by G is L by G the whole power 1 by 2. So it will be 1 by 2 into delta L by L into 100 plus 1 by 2 into delta G by G into 100. So you should find out the percentage error of G, percentage error of delta L, or percentage error of L you should find out, and then you can add up. You will be getting the final answer. So this is the theory part. Just I gave you some of the examples over here. So we will try to do the exercise questions. Please try to solve all the questions which is given after the theory session. Okay, so in this previous video, the answers I will be giving first itself. So if you can if you are getting the answers correctly, then no need to watch those things, right? Then after that, today's theory part alone you can watch. So I think today's video also useful for you, and thanks for the comments. And that's all, children. So see you in the next video, and in between please don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Thank you for watching. Bye.